In the world of boxing, there are nights when two fighters step into the ring, not just to chase victory, but to etch their names into memory. A night when pressure collides with skill, when grit is tested against willpower. This was one of those nights. From the heart of Mexico City, the relentless pressure fighter, Isaac Pitbull Cruz. A man small in stature, but ferocious in presence. A bulldog of the lightweight division, known for stalking opponents, breaking them down, and never taking a backward step. And across from him, Cleveland's own Thomas Mattice. Taller, longer, smoother in style. A boxer with the pedigree of the U.S. amateur system, a man who believed his jab, his movement, and his composure could tame the raging storm that was Pitbull Cruz. The crowd roared as both men were introduced. Mexico versus the USA. Pressure versus poise. 10 rounds, the main event of the evening, and a fight that would prove to be a battle of styles, willpower, and survival. The opening bell rang, and instantly, Cruz showed his identity. No feeling-out process. No hesitation. He marched forward, compact, low, winging shots to the body and head. Mattice, tall and rangy, tried to establish his jab. He circled, pawed, trying to keep Cruz off him. But Cruz cut distance like a predator closing in on prey. His head movement, subtle slips, and short steps made the ring shrink for the American. The first round belonged to the Mexican pressure. Cruz landed thudding body shots that echoed in the arena. Mattice, tentative, was forced onto the back foot. The crowd knew it early. Cruz had come to impose chaos. Mattice's corner urged him to stay long, to use his advantages. But Cruz refused to let him breathe. He slipped past the jab, ripped to the ribs, and clubbed overhand rights upstairs. Mattice managed to land a clean counter, a straight right hand that snapped Cruz's head back. The crowd gasped. For a moment, the taller man showed his tools. But Cruz didn't flinch. He smirked, nodded, and stormed back inside with vicious combinations. It was clear, Mattice could box, but could he fight off the swarm for 10 full rounds? The tide briefly shifted. Mattice, urged by his corner, dug in. He found moments of success at range. A crisp right hand landed flush, forcing Cruz to take a step back for the first time in the fight. The commentators noted it, a wake-up call for the Pitbull. The Cleveland fighter was showing flashes of brilliance. The jab, the straight right, the movement, this was the Mattice game plan. But Cruz, relentless as always, answered with hooks to the body, chopping uppercuts up the middle, and pressure that never relented. It was becoming a war of attrition. Cruz's father shouted instructions from the corner, urging his son to stay composed, to keep pushing. The Pitbull responded. He tore into Mattice with heavy hooks, mixing head and body, throwing in clusters. Mattice landed single clean shots, but Cruz's volume and ferocity overwhelmed the rhythm. The referee warned both fighters to keep it clean, but the exchanges grew hotter. The crowd was on its feet. This wasn't just a boxing match anymore, it was a clash of wills. The pace remained torrid. Mattice fought bravely, answering back with stiff counters, but the wear was showing. Cruz's body shots were taking their toll. Each thud to the ribs made the taller man wince just a little more. Midway through the round, Cruz landed a clean left hook upstairs that staggered Mattice. The crowd erupted. Mattice's legs betrayed him for a moment, and he had to cling to survival. The bell came just in time, saving the American from what could have been disaster. At ringside, fans whispered, was Mattice starting to crumble? Cruz smelled blood. He stormed forward with renewed aggression, forcing Mattice onto the ropes. A savage overhand right crashed against Mattice's chin, leaving him visibly shaken again. The commentators shouted, "He's hurt!" And the referee hovered close, ready to intervene. But Mattice dug deep, fired back a desperate right hand of his own, and refused to fold. The round closed with both men trading heavy leather in the center of the ring, sweat flying, the crowd screaming with every punch. Mattice's corner pleaded, "Keep moving. Don't trade with him. Box." For a stretch, Mattice listened. He circled, pumped the jab, and landed crisp right hands down the pipe. It was perhaps his best round since the third. He showed the heart of a warrior, refusing to let the fight slip completely away. But even in moments of success, the Pitbull stalked. He cut off the ring, 8 punches just to land 2 or 3 of his own, and never allowed Mattice to truly breathe. The battle had become grueling. Both men were marked, Cruz relentless, Mattice battered but unbroken. Cruz kept pushing forward, but Mattice surprised everyone. He dug deep and produced one of his finest rounds. A beautiful uppercut landed, followed by a sharp right hand. The crowd gasped as Cruz momentarily stumbled. For the first time all night, Pitbull Cruz looked vulnerable. Mattice's corner roared, knowing this was the opening they had prayed for. But the Mexican warrior steadied himself, regained composure, and by the end of the round was firing back with his own vicious body hooks. The tide never stayed still for long. The 9th round began with urgency. Mattice, knowing the fight was slipping away, came out pumping the jab, snapping Cruz's head back with a crisp right hand. For a brief moment, the taller American looked sharp, circling with energy, trying to reclaim control. The crowd responded, sensing a flicker of momentum. But the Pitbull was not impressed. Cruz dipped under the jab, stalking with that low crouch, and then drove a vicious left hook into Mattice's body. The sound cracked through the arena. Mattice winced, forced backward, and suddenly the ropes were at his back. Cruz pounced, hammering hooks upstairs and ripping uppercuts through the guard. The referee leaned closer, ready to intervene, but Mattice showed heart. He fired back a counter right hand that caught Cruz clean. The crowd gasped, but the Mexican warrior only shook it off, glaring forward, and pressed harder. The exchanges grew wild. Sweat flew, gloves thundered against flesh, and the arena shook with cheers. Cruz's pressure was suffocating. His compact punches landed in bunches, while Mattice could only answer in single shots. In the final minute, Cruz landed a thunderous right that buckled Mattice's legs. The American staggered, on the brink, but refused to go down. He clenched his fists, bit down, and threw back just enough leather to survive. The bell finally rang. Mattice stumbled to his corner, battered and breathing heavy. Cruz returned to his stool with calm confidence. Round 9 belonged to the Pitbull, a round of dominance, survival, and raw heart. The crowd was electric. They knew they had witnessed a war. Mattice came out aggressive, determined to steal the final round. He landed sharp counters, his right hand finding a home again and again. His heart was on full display, bruised, battered, but refusing to bow. Cruz, unshaken, fired back with equal ferocity. Hooks, overhands, body shots. The Pitbull would not be denied. The final seconds ticked away as both men stood in the center of the ring, trading leather, neither willing to step back. It was raw, it was violent, it was beautiful. The bell rang. The crowd erupted in applause, a standing ovation for two warriors who had left it all in the ring. As the fighters returned to their corners, sweat pouring, lungs heaving, the outcome rested with the judges. After 10 brutal rounds, the verdict was read. By majority decision. Isaac "Pitbull" Cruz. The Mexican crowd exploded. Cruz, arms raised, had proven once again why his nickname fit so perfectly. 10 rounds of relentless pressure. 10 rounds of Pitbull ferocity. Mattice, though defeated, left the ring with his pride intact. He had fought valiantly, pushed Cruz to the brink, and earned the respect of every fan watching. Boxing is more than punches thrown and landed. It's about heart. About resilience. About refusing to give in when the storm rages hardest. On this night, Isaac Cruz showed the world why he is one of the most feared lightweights on the planet. Compact, ferocious, and endlessly relentless. And Thomas Mattice proved he is more than just a name on the other side of the ring. He is a fighter with grit, heart, and courage that will carry him forward. It wasn't just a fight. It was a war of styles, a clash of wills, a story of survival. If you felt the intensity of this fight, if you admired the relentless pressure of Isaac "Pitbull" Cruz or the heart and determination of Thomas "Gunnaman" Mattice, then this is your moment to join the conversation. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Who impressed you most tonight? Do you believe Cruz has what it takes to challenge for a world title soon? And how do you rate Mattice's performance against one of boxing's most feared pressure fighters? Don't forget, hit that like button if you enjoyed this breakdown, subscribe to the channel for more cinematic boxing highlights, and share this video with every fight fan you know. The ring is where stories are written, but it's here, with you, where the debate continues.